G'day, welcome back to another video. In this video we'll be doing a bit of a tidy up, which I've already done, on this Kyosho Turbo Ultima from 1988. So this is one that I've had for many years. I want to say 20 years, I reckon. I had one very similar when I was, I don't know, 15, back in 1988. Mine was actually an Ultima that I built from parts, but most of the parts were Turbo Ultima parts. Yeah, I really wanted an Ultima, and then, yeah, couldn't afford it. I started buying parts to build one. Even more expensive, and then the Turbo Ultima came out, and yeah, I just dribbled when I saw that. So yeah, I started buying the Turbo Ultima parts, and I ended up with something like this, but it still had the red shocks instead of the platinums or golds or any of that. So it was very close to one of these. So that's long gone. Anyway, I've had this sitting on the shelf for, yeah, around 20 years, I reckon. At least 15. And it's been built from half new, half used parts. Like the top plate on the chassis is used, axles and things were used, but most of it is brand new. But yeah, it just basically sat on the shelf for many years collecting dust, and I always pointing at it thinking I must fix that one day and get it exactly how it should be, or to the best way I can anyway. Anyway, I think it looks pretty good. Pretty happy with it. The only thing, it's got the torque limiting clutch on it there. The shaft is a little bit too long. It needs trimming down or something. As you can see, it hits the cover and the cover doesn't fit right. I was just going to put the standard cover back on, but I didn't have a spare, so I'll just leave that in there. I don't plan on running it anyway. As you'll see in the video, I didn't even fit radio. It's got the standard mechanical speed controller in there. I just left that. Maybe one day I'll get it out for a run. I have another one, a brand new Turbo Ultima that I have to build, or it's half built. I'm going to do that. And something coming up on the channel quite soon. I want to do a Turbo Ultima and also an Ultima Pro. With the idea being, basically I'm going to use re-release Ultima kits and a whole lot of different parts. And basically the idea is what I believe would be a re-release, what it would look like if Kyosho re-released it. Now that said, I'll probably get halfway through the build and they will go and re-release it. Whatever, I'll just have to buy them too. Anyway, we'll get into it. So having a quick look over it. As you can see, well, it's kind of dusty. I wasn't really happy with the lack of masking around the windows, so I wanted to fix that. And quite a few of the stickers have gone yellow and started to peel. The wing I thought was okay, but when I came to strip it, I found it was splitting apart, so I got rid of that. Onto the body. As you can see, it was painted back in the day with a brush, as we did back in the day. The body's in quite good condition, so I'm keeping that. And just looking over the chassis, it looks kind of tired. The shocks are actually brand new, but they've just, you know, gone bad with age. Just, yeah, the surface has gone a bit dodgy on them. So I've got the Le Mans 240 ST in the back, of course. And you'll notice I've actually got the option house torque limiting clutch on there as well. I actually don't like that. It sticks out too far and the cover doesn't sit right. But yeah, just looking around, it's all in one piece and we can do something with it. The wheels are going to need looking at. As you can see, the silver or chrome type finish is gone from some of them. The tyres themselves are brand new. The back ones are. The front ones, I'm not sure if they're new or used, but I do end up getting rid of them anyway because there was a big chunk missing out of one of the front tyres. And it's missing a tyre rod right there. And as you can see, the chassis is looking quite good. I believe that's brand new, or maybe not. There's one little scratch at the back. I don't know, it looks good to me. Now the first thing I did here was clean up the platinum shocks. I think they're looking quite nice. So yeah, I polished the tops and gave them a good clean up, polished the bottoms and filled them up with silicone oil. So that kind of spurred me on to get onto my what Turbo Ultima shocks might look like if they were re-released. So I've got some re-released Turbo Ultima shocks there that I took the gold anodizing off, polished the tops, and I left the bodies just a matte finish to kind of mimic the platinum shocks. And also added some aluminium shock bottoms on the bottom there. Stripping the body went surprisingly well. Being the original body, I expected it to start splitting around the back, but it didn't. It was all good. I ended up swapping the decals for MCI decals too because they were all yellow and starting to peel. Now I had to use the TBG wing because the original wing started splitting when I was stripping it, and then it just, yeah, all went bad. So there's the wing all finished, looking good. Now one thing I'm not happy about with the rear wing, well, there's actually a couple of things. It's a little bit shorter this way. The original wing was kind of out here a little bit, so it's too short that way. And if you look here, these are kind of bulbous. they're rather bulgy, and actually it might be better up that way. And as you can see, they got like a bend in it. They're not straight. Now on the sides of the wing, you might notice there's ripples in it, because they were basically sticking out like this. And the best thing I could think of doing there was I put some shoe glue in underneath, jammed it in there, and basically put it in the vise, put a rag in there, put it in the vise for a while and made it as flat as I could and let the shoe glue dry. Yeah, that's the best I could think of doing with it. So yeah, not too happy with the wing. Also the curve on the top, it's far too curvy. It should be more, pointy on these corners, especially that one there. Anyway, it is an aftermarket wing, whatever. I know you've got to be happy with it, but I don't know, I'm not. But from a distance, it looks good, so I'll just stay at a distance. So it was time to get onto the body painting. So I masked the windows and painted them. And around the back here, I couldn't really mask it. I was having big dramas, so I ended up doing it all freehand with a brush. I think it looks good. And there we go, got the decals on, got the rear wing on. I think it looks quite fine. This is one livery I really like. It just pops. So that's the body and wing all done and ready to go. Now next up was the wheels, and as you can see the chrome's kind of missing from them. So I sprayed the inside of them with some Mulatto liquid chrome just in the airbrush, and yeah, just to tidy them up. So this is the stuff. This is actually a refill. You can buy them as a pen, but this is basically the refill for the pen. And yeah, I just put it in the airbrush. No thinning required, just tip it in, and yeah, just hit it. Now the thicker you go, or the wetter you go, the shinier it's going to be. Now, I did end up putting them in the oven. I shouldn't have done that. I should have just left them, and it would have taken days for them to dry, I think, because it takes a long time. But what I did, I wanted to put the tyres on and get the job done. So I put them in the oven, just on a baking tray there, and yeah, I only ran it on 44 degrees Celsius for about 4 hours. So as you can see, the silver, or the chrome, did dull off quite a lot on the wheels. To me, it still looks more chromy than a standard silver if I had to use that, but they come up alright. So on the outside, I just basically covered the edges of the wheel there, because they got like a nice smooth finish. So I just covered the edges, and I just quickly blew over with some of that Mulatto chrome, just because there was little pit marks and bits of silver missing and things, so I just wanted to clean them up nicely. Now looking at the shock towers, you can see they're kind of yellowed around the edges. You can normally see a bit of white FRP sticking through there. So I just grabbed the file and went around the edges just to, clean it up, get rid of that yellowness. And on the front one, as you can see, it's got this black around the top edge of it, nothing on the bottom. But yeah, I just went around them too and cleaned it up, make it look good. Now some of the metal parts had a bit of rust on them here and there, so I went over them with the little wire wheel on the Dremel. And the axles had been used, so they had a little bit of wear on them, you know, where you get sticks and things caught in there. So they had little silver stripes on it. So I went over it with this Presto Mag liquid gun blue. It's an idea I saw on, I don't know, one of the groups or Instagram, I don't remember. But yeah, good idea. And as you can see here, I've done the ends of the universal joins as well. So they're all nice and black. So yeah, good idea, I think. So there's the chassis all done. I've tidied up the wiring on the speed controller there. And yeah, it's looking pretty good. Well, that's it for our Kyosho Turbo Ultima. I think it turned out very nice. Now I can take a spot with its other Ultima buddies here. Yeah, anyway, so I've got a couple of kits over here. I've got to they're the ones I'm going to turn into what if Ultimas, you know, if Ultima Pro or Turbo Ultima was to be re-released, what I think they're going to look like. And over here got a spare one just for whatever. And then the Ultima RB7, I really want to get that one built. I'm still working on the track outside very slowly. Getting a big palm tree taken out behind the shed very soon. So that'll help and I can get back onto the track. Yeah, so it'd be good to get this one out on the track. It'd be nice. Anyway, well that's it for this video. If you liked the video, give it a thumb up. If you're new here, subscribe, that'd be awesome. If you like Ultimas and Kyosho stuff in general, or Tamiya, whatever, you know, plenty more content to come. Alrighty, catch you later.